Hey everybody, today another short talk for you about bodybuilding and the fitness lifestyle. Um, Today I wanted to address something that kind of comes up for me a bit as I look at social media out there these days and talking to some of my own clients about what motivates them and what demotivates them. And I wanted to just take a moment to talk about the fact that, it's fairly obvious that social media these days is full of influencers who aren't really telling you the truth in many ways, right? We have a lot of them are selling supplements. A lot of them are using PEDs and claiming that it's these supplements and they're trying to sell you them based on that. That should be fairly obvious for most people, I hope. That doesn't make it okay, of course. It's still really, really wrong. But I think it's fairly understood these days. Because that's fairly easy to be objective about by looking at somebody that you know that they're not natural anymore, and they're being dishonest by peddling supplements. But there's a different kind of dishonesty that I wanted to talk about today, and this is the dishonesty of motivation. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that social media, and not only social media, but before social media, we had a lot of people out there in the fitness industry who will talk about, getting up at 4 a.m. and going for a 2 hour run and then hitting the weights and then going to a full day of work, whatever, or come home with another 2 hours of workouts and never missing a meal and just, being full of fire and just hitting all the buttons every day, doing everything right, day after day after day, year after year after year, and telling you that this is what it takes to succeed and this is what you must do. It's everybody from, back in a while ago, it was people like David Goggins, who was a Navy SEAL, and obviously people like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock are also really popular in this space, motivating you to, get up and, feet in the floor and go hit that day and, just charge forward. Nothing can stop you kind of thing. And while I view that as useful in some ways, as a practical motivation, just to, give you a little push, give you a little inspiration. Well, I notice conversely is a lot of people get discouraged by that because they start to feel that's what they must do. And if they can't do that, then something's wrong with them. They're just not good enough, or they're never going to succeed because they don't like getting up at 4 a.m. and they don't like working out for 6 hours a day every day. And they don't, all these kind of things that these people put forth as either requirements or as very unrealistic goals, to regular people. And while I do believe, fundamentally everybody can get better. Everybody can improve. That's my bottom line about what I do, is that everybody can improve. Everybody can get better. We all have different genes, physically, mentally, Those are things like, how muscular we can get, how lean we can be, how healthy we are, but also things like mental stamina and the ability to endure and the ability to persist. These things are driven by personal choice, mental aspects at least, to some extent, but also by genetics. And I want people to understand that and accept the fact that they are not a David Goggins, they are not a Dwayne Johnson, and that is perfectly okay. All right? Too many people out there feel terrible because they can't do these things that these high achievers do. And the high achievers make it seem like anybody can do it. And while, like I say, everybody can do better and some inspiration is good, conversely, it can demotivate people. It can make them feel terrible about themselves if they're not accomplishing these goals because they feel it's being put out there as the model, as the norm. And it's not. Okay, it's just not. I myself am not a competitive person. I don't care about how I'm doing compared to other people. It's one of the reasons why, even though I've been in bodybuilding for 40 years, I've kind of competed on and off over those 40 years because I don't really care about first place, second place, third place. I don't care about bodybuilding pro cards or anything like that. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. I know who I am, what I'm capable of, and I push myself as hard as I can within reason based on myself, what I can do, what I want to do, what I can recover from, what I can manage as part of my daily life. And I think that's really important that we all understand that. It's good to have inspiration from these media figures, either social or larger media, even movie characters or whatever. But it's also really important to be realistic with yourself and understand that's not a bad thing. All right? I'm not here to give like a consolation prize to people and make them feel great about doing nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about, sitting back and being satisfied with doing nothing. It's about recognizing that what you can do to the best of your ability is the best for you. And that's fine. I help clients all the time, and one of the biggest things to deal with them sometimes is getting them to stop beating themselves up. Stop criticizing themselves, because that leads to a trap of negativity and inaction and quitting. All right, so while it's good to have some kind of inspiration from outside forces, from outside individuals, and feel some kind of motivation from them, recognize the fact that you are you and only you, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with being you. I'm happy with who I am. I'm not trying to be anybody else. Don't try to be anybody else, because if you do, you'll inevitably become disappointed. And you're just going to beat yourself up, and that leads to failure. So I just want to take this time to let people know it's okay if you're not Dwayne Johnson, if you're not excited about getting out of bed every day at 3 a.m. or whatever, and drinking raw eggs or whatever kind of, rubbish, Because frankly, let's be realistic too. A lot of this is just rubbish. Even from the people out there that I'm mentioning, a lot of it is BS. A lot of it is posturing. A lot of it is media solicitation, for likes, clicks, and popularity. I don't believe all these people do these things consistently every day, all their life, unless they have, some kind of disorder, frankly speaking. Not to be negative, but, you really have to be in an unusual space mentally to want to do this stuff and to be able to keep doing it without burning out and hurting yourself, because there's only so much pushing the body can take before you have to pull it back and recover a little bit. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but I really want people to keep in mind the fact that you are an individual. You can do better almost always, but you don't have to be like a superhero, and you don't have to feel bad about that. We're all here as individuals with different capabilities. There's going to be ways you can beat these other people in different aspects of your life, physically, mentally, whatever, skill-wise, knowledge-wise. We're all better in certain areas than other people. Don't let social media pressure or general media pressure of what you think you should be doing and the performance level you think you should attain sabotage your real progress. Okay? Push yourself, do your best, try, get a coach who can help you, give you a path and support you when you feel down. But don't beat yourself up. Don't blame yourself for not being elite, because that is a road to failure. And basically, I want people to succeed. So that's my 2 cents about this. I hope you find it valuable. Let me know. Yeah, give me some likes or some comments if you do appreciate this kind of content, so I know to make some more. All right, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye, everybody.